What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and today we're going to be continuing the series where I rank certain handguns in certain categories. And today's category is going to be compacts. So take a snapshot now, a screenshot, whatever. This is probably the only time you will ever see Spin Firearms with this many large firearms in one place. Because normally I'm about my subcompacts, micro 9, single stacks, and pocket pistols. But I do have compacts, and I do have a little bit bigger than a compact. This is my largest firearm size-wise, overall footprint. I don't really consider the 45 being a compact, because what I consider a compact is something that has between a 3.7 and 4-inch barrel, but it has about the grip length of a Glock 19, whereas obviously this is the grip length of a 17. So I love the 45. It's a great handgun, but no, it's not going to be on this list. Just wanted to point that out. Like I said, hit the like button, drop a comment down below, subscribe. Tell me your favorite compact. Tell me your thoughts on this video, this ranking, what you carry today. Doesn't matter. Throw it in the comments. It all helps. If you love firearms in general, this is the channel for you. Let's get into it. My first compact, even though I did put it in my subcompact video, is going to be the XDM Elite. And that's because the grip is so short. That's why I also put it in the subcompact video. But it is considered a compact from Springfield Armory. I believe it's 13+1 in this setup right here. Has this weird mag well on it, but it is removable. But what I like about it is it locks my two fingers in there, and I put the third one right here. It almost has its own spot. There's no pinching or anything. And man, is this thing great. When I went to the range with a buddy who supports the channel a couple weeks ago, he shot this. He's like, wow, it's really a great shooting handgun. And I love to bring this for people when it's their first time shooting and all sorts of stuff, because that thick, heavy slide helps with recoil like crazy. And man, does this thing look awesome. Awesome serrations. Looks great. Has an awesome flat face trigger. Large enough trigger guard to fit a glove finger in there if you live somewhere where it's cold. Has a rail. Awesome U-notch sights with that fiber optic front, if you can see that front. And then the U-notch rear. Comes optic ready. And I get a lot of use out of this handgun. Also, they made a 35 round mag for this. So 36 rounds, all made by Springfield. Runs 100% reliable. That's beating Glock's 33 rounder. 36 total rounds. Unbelievable. Love the XDM Elite. Has the least recoil out of anything on this table. Next, we have to give it up to the Glock 19. The Glock 19 is just such a great handgun. Even if you're not a Glock fan or someone who likes Glocks, even if you don't carry compacts, like I never carry this, I still tell everyone, get a Glock 19. Simply for parts availability when crap hits the fan, the ruggedness, the durability of these, they just run. Doesn't matter what you put through them. Doesn't matter what defensive ammo you're shooting, anything. It just runs. It is an awesome, awesome handgun. I absolutely love it, and mine's pretty plain Jane. I have a Miraglow I-dot sights on it, handle at edge series grips, a Millspin American flag base plate, because once again, we live in the best country in the world. Although right now it's going a little downhill. It is what it is. But great handgun. Just great handgun. It's just going to run. And if you don't like finger grooves, just get the Gen 5 or a different frame. Awesome. Next up, we're going to go to personally one of my favorite handguns in the world. This always makes my top 10 list. The Glock 30 SF. So it is the short frame version. This setup right here is 12+1. This SLR Rifle Works base plate adds 3. So this is 13 total rounds of 45 ACP out of a Glock. And man, is this a smooth shooter. Once again, I take people shooting all the time that are first time shooters. And actually a buddy of mine shot this as his very first handgun. And he shot it really well. And that's because it handles recoil. Even being a 45, a lot of people get nervous about shooting 45 at first. And they think it's going to have a lot of recoil out of a smaller handgun like this. But there's barely any recoil. It honestly feels like a 9mm to me. It's just such a smooth shooting handgun. 45 is so nice to shoot, even out of small handguns. I love it. A lot of capacity, comes with a rail. I just changed out the sight to a Miraglow 3-dot sights, Hornet Precision backplate. But I do carry this in my Blacksmith Tactical holster for it. I love it. It's a great handgun, and you do get power out of 45, more than 9mm. And on top of that, it just handles that recoil so well. That is the number one part about this firearm I love. It's not that it's a Glock or anything. It's the recoil control. There's very little recoil, so you can be very fast with this. And being fast with 45, perfect setup for everyday carry. Next up, I got to give it to my Glock 23. chambered in 40. I love 40. I think 40 is the most versatile round in the world. It does have more stopping power than 9mm, and when you get it with the right ammo, like Civil Liberty Defense rounds or Underwood Extreme Defenders, man, do those rounds fly, and don't over penetrate. It's a great round. I love the fact that it, a lot of people love 10mm. I like that it has less recoil than 10mm, but more power than 9. So I absolutely love that. But this is my Glock 23, and a lot of people, like I was saying, who don't like the Gen 3s, you can get this Combat Armory grip. It's only $60, and the tolerances are on point. The specs are on point. The pins are very tight putting them in there, but you just know everything is going to sit where it needs to go and function flawlessly. And man, does this thing run. And yes, the setup looks a little crazy and ridiculous, and you're right, I do not carry this. This has been a home defense firearm for me, and on top of that, a woods carry and stuff like that, nighttime shooting gun, and so on. And I absolutely love to carry this thing in the woods. I feel so protected. 13 plus 1 of 40, fill it up with some 200 grain hard cast rounds, and you are good to go in the woods, and you can basically defend yourself against anything in North America, even bears. And yes, I normally carry my 29 in the woods, especially in bear country, but against bobcats and bears, if you can dump a good amount of rounds out of this thing in 40, 200 grain hardcast, you're going to be all right. But have that Sealy Bear optic on there. It's a closed emitter, and I love this dot. Ameriglow cap sights. Those are my favorite sights. My favorite sight picture. As you can see, there's a little hash mark or a little line down there, and it lines up with this little squared off highlighter yellow tritium front. Absolutely love it. Like I said, this Combat Armory grip module or frame is unreal. I absolutely love this thing. Absolutely love it. It is textured perfectly, and if you don't like finger grooves, this is the way to go. Finger grooves tend to fit my hand all right. They don't fit it the best. My fingers sort of hang off the grooves a little bit, as you can see, but I do like Gen 3s. But at the same time, this is going to be Gen 3 reliability, Gen 3 everything, but basically a Gen 5 frame. And this thing is a shooter. Absolutely love it. Next up, we have to go with the Glock 29. This setup right here is, I believe, 11 plus 1, so 12 rounds of 10mm. As you can see, I got the big Bastion backplate, and the reason I put that on there is to help labeling in my safe. I have a pretty big safe, a very, very big safe, and sometimes it's hard to find what I'm looking for, and that just helps. Backplates help me locate it in my safe. That's the main reason for my backplates, is I remember the backplate to which handgun I'm looking for, especially Glocks when they all look the same and so on. It's nice to have. Also, I don't carry this thing unless I'm in the woods. I love 10mm, but I'm much better with 40, 357 SIG, and 9mm. Also, I'm just faster. But anyways, comes with a rail. Like I said, 11 plus 1 of 10mm, enough to defend yourself against anything in North America, bobcats, grizzly bears, whatever the case may be. Ameriglow ghost ring sights. Now, they're not my favorite sights. They're not the greatest sights, but they're simple. They're the same exact thing as regular irons. You just have that circle. You just line up the 3 dots, and you can basically find your center very easily, as you can see. And it makes for a nice little picture. I'm not going to lie. A lot of people talk down on them. Whatever. I don't care. I shoot them good, so I don't have a problem with them. And also, I normally run this with the 15-round mag from the Glock 20 when I'm in the woods, just so I have that 16 rounds of 10mm, because I go in the woods a lot by myself to go shooting, and I need whatever I can to defend myself against bears and bobcats. So, absolutely love this thing. A great, great handgun. The 29, 100% reliable, plus you can shoot 40 out of it. Now we're getting into the budget section. Obviously, 2 of them are the same. And sorry to the people who have a Stoger, none of these firearms have been unreliable. I actually love all these handguns. I'm just telling you my personal preference in order. Next up is going to be the daggers. Now, I only run them with Glock mags. I refuse to run them with the Magpul mags, because that's the only time I've had issues with these. When they're running Glock mags, they don't have issues. But what I like about the dagger is the texturing is so much better in Glocks. The ergonomics on this are better than Glocks. It fits my hand like a glove. Yeah, my finger hangs off this little magwell or little flare out down here, but I don't have a problem with it. I don't carry these. I don't use them for home defense or anything, but they're great. You can get this for like $275. It's just a plain Jane stainless steel. But if you're just getting new into firearms, $275 on a reliable handgun allows you a little bit of extra money for some ammunition, plus some holsters, and so on, some hollow points so you can test and then keep some for self-defense. Comes with a light rail. It's just a Glock 19 clone, a Gen 3 clone, and man, does this thing run. I absolutely love the daggers. I'm actually very surprised by their performance, their reliability, and so on. Not a single issue. And this thing's completely plain Jane. Absolutely love it. And like I said, I love this dagger as well. Haven't shot it as much as that dagger because it's a little bit newer. But man, that upper looks beautiful and flawless. I am getting a holster for him for the range and stuff like that. And who knows, in the winter I might carry at 3 o'clock. I don't like carrying big firearms appendix. And I consider this a big firearm compared to what I normally carry. But man, this setup right here is sick with the TLR-7 Ace on there. Absolutely the best light in my opinion. Hands down the best light. And then the Wolf X Pro. That's what I run on my main carry firearm. My Glock 26 is the X Pro. And on my Glock 43X, I run the Sealy Cat X Pro. And they're just great budget red dots that are made by a legit company that makes reliable, rugged, durable optics. And man, do I love this setup right here. It came with the suppressor height sights so you can co-witness your dot. Just a great overall setup. I love this thing. I love the daggers. Like I said, I don't carry them. If they made a Glock 26 dagger, who knows, I might carry it. Last but definitely not least, the Stoger STR-9C. This is a 13+1 setup. The number one downfall to this handgun is it only comes with 1 mag. And the Stoger mags are a little bit hard to find. And what I also like about it is, I can use the larger mags in my Stoger subcompact. Once again, this is a Glock 19 clone. The subcompact is a Glock 26 clone. And the Glock 26 clone takes the larger mags. This comes with a rail, a large trigger guard. If you live in a state that gets cold like me and you wear gloves, this is perfect because you can get a glove finger in there without accidentally pressing on that trigger. All the controls run smooth. Have over 1,000 rounds with this handgun. Not a single issue, not a single parts breakage, anything like that. Stainless steel guide rod for lasting a long time. Just a good overall firearm. Comes with better sights than Glocks right out of the box, just simply because they're metal. I do like the Glock bracket sights, but these are metal and those aren't. I've ruined so many Glock sights, you have no idea. So I do not like the stock sights. But the finish is a little questionable. But other than that, an awesome handgun. Super ergonomic. Just like the dagger, it's just on point with ergonomics. Feels really natural in the hand. You're very quick on target. It's just an awesome pistol. Awesome handgun for the price, and these are about $250. Just like this was $275. This was like $330. A Glock 19 Gen 3, you can get them for about $500. So, like, when it comes down to what people always ask, would you have 2 daggers or 1 Glock 19? And unfortunately, to them, I say Glock 19. It's going to run longer, last longer, be more reliable. Generally speaking. Nothing against my daggers. I love the daggers. The XDM Elite, you can find these for, like, sub $500 right now. Like, $400 to $500. So you cannot beat that. I absolutely love the Elite. I have so much good to say about it. It's not even funny. Glock 23, once again, if you get a Gen 3, it's about $500. If you get this frame right here, that's going to be $560. But I absolutely love this frame. Feels so good in the hand. And I just created this from the ground up using Glock internals. Glock 29, I think everyone should have one for woods defense. Glock 30, I absolutely love this thing just because it's so smooth and reliable and clean. It just feels really good shooting it. And knowing that it's a larger round gives me a little bit more comfort. And I do love that 45. I will never carry this. You will never see me carrying a large handgun like this. But it's fun at the range. Awesome for home defense and so on. So that's my list of compacts. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Thanks for watching.